Hello horror movie lovers, I'm Trenton and I love movies, just like you. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing Scream 5, aka Scream 2022. Now I have not seen the movie yet, I actually am going to go see it later tonight. We have a late screening, but I am so excited. This is basically my initial reaction / expectations, and my expectations are very, very, very high. Now I'm trying to lower them because obviously if you go into a movie having high expectations, you have a higher chance of being disappointed. So I'm trying to lower my expectations, but it's Scream. And obviously I have the appropriate attire for the occasion. It's the limited time Cavity Colors Ghostface Part 1 collection. And I'm so excited. Now the things I want from this movie are good character development, good chase scenes, brutal / creative kills that don't always involve the buck knife. Yes, the buck knife is iconic, but I want a variety of weapons maybe. There's so many different things at Ghostface's disposal that they can use to kill people with. So I want some brutal / creative kills. And I want a high body count. I kind of want a Scream 4 type of body count because that movie had 10 plus deaths. And yes, I'm counting the openings, the stab movie openings. I mean, those are still death scenes. But yes. Almost 92% of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel. So if you do enjoy this video, please consider subscribing to my channel for more videos from me. And make sure to hit that notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I post a new video. Okay, so it is 2:41. And the movie starts at 9:50, so we got some time, but yeah, I'm very excited. So when the time comes, I'm gonna bring y'all with me. So I'll see y'all whenever I'm gonna go. Mom? Oh, Steven.
Knock, knock. Open the door.
Mom? Steven? Steven? This is not fucking funny. Take the costume off. Steven? So I just watched Scream 5, aka Scream 2022, and wow. Scream 2022 takes place 25 years after the original series of murders in Woodsboro. A new Ghostface emerges and Sidney Prescott must return to uncover the truth. Now, did it meet my expectations? Yes, it honestly did. I honestly love this movie. I loved it. I loved it. Now, I did a poll on my community tab basically asking whether or not y'all would want one big review with a non-spoiler section at the first half and a spoiler section in the second half, or if y'all would want two separate videos, which will be a non-spoiler video and a spoiler video. Now, I thought about it, and honestly, this is such a hard movie to do just a non-spoiler video, like just separately. So I'm probably just going to combine both of them like my normal movie review format. Even though the two separate videos did win, I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like two separate videos is just too much, especially for a Scream movie, like a non-spoiler. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just going to do both. Like, obviously, I'm going to warn y'all before I enter spoiler territory. But yeah, the first half of this video is going to be non-spoiler. So don't worry. I'm not going to spoil anything if you haven't seen the movie. But yeah, I will give you a warning before I do enter spoiler territory. Now, starting off with my positives for the non-spoiler section of this video. The opening scene is amazing. It is literally an homage to the original. Like, it's not exactly the same, but it is very similar to the original. Now, it's similar, but it's also modernized. Like, they talk about more modern horror movies that came out in the last decade, like It Follows, The Babadook, and stuff. I was just like, I was just so happy that they did that. Like, it's literally the opening scene of the original, but it's just more brutal and just more modernized, and I loved it. I loved it. Next would have to be the pacing. Now, the pacing for this movie is super fast. Like, it honestly shocked me. It's like opening scene, and then 15 minutes later, attack. 15 minutes later, another attack. 15 minutes later, another attack. And it's just like, oh my God, like, this movie is so fast paced, and I honestly was never bored. It was probably my anticipation because I was so excited for this movie. And I don't know, I was never bored. Like, even with like the dialogue scenes and like the character development scenes, I really enjoyed them. And I just feel like this was such a fast-paced movie. Now, my next positive would have to be the tone. It is definitely probably one of the darkest movies in the franchise. Like, I love darker horror movies. Like, for example, Evil Dead 2013. I enjoyed that better than the original Evil Dead. It's just a darker tone. It's more violent. It's just more serious. And that's what this movie is. Like, obviously, there's comedic elements. I mean, it's Scream. But out of the other four movies, this one just seemed just darker in tone, like, overall. I was just like, wow, this is getting pretty dark and like sad. I was just like, I don't know. I was not prepared for it to be like that. But again, I loved it. It was amazing. Next would have to be the characters. Honestly, I loved every single character. Now, there were characters that didn't get as much screen time as other characters, which I kind of didn't like. I didn't hate it, but I just like, I don't know. I wanted to see some characters like just more developed. And honestly, I really wish that this movie had like 30 more minutes added to it just for character development, so we could like care for the characters a little more, because a lot, like not a lot, but like a decent amount of the characters just didn't really get as much screen time as I wanted to. I wouldn't say that they're throwaway characters, but like seriously, some of them I was just like kind of disappointed in how their storylines ended. Now, my next positive is the kills. These kills in this movie are brutal. Brutal out of the entire franchise. There's just a lot of squeamish, like lingering type gore that's just like, oh, it's so uncomfortable to watch. But I loved it. Like, literally, a lot of the other movies aren't super gory. Like, I mean, they're gory, but like, they're just not as gory as this one. Like, it's not like super gory, like over the top gore. It's just very just squeamish, uncomfortable type gore. Like, I feel like in Scream 4, Olivia's death is definitely one of the most violent in the franchise. But this movie just had just some very uncomfortable, squeamish deaths that would make you go like, ugh, ow, oh. Like, I don't know. I loved it. I loved it. Literally, I loved it. Now, my final positive would have to be Ghostface himself. This Ghostface is definitely the most hostile and the most serious out of the entire franchise. Like, in the first four movies, Ghostface is just very clumsy, tripping over chairs, tripping over stools, and just, it seems very wacky whenever he attacks people. But in this movie, Ghostface is way more professional, way more just serious, and he is not really stumbling all over the place. He's very just straightforward, like, I'm gonna come get you and I'm gonna come kill you. And I loved it. Like, obviously, I did like that the characters were also fighting back. I did like that. They weren't just like running away all the time. But I love this Ghostface. This Ghostface was very, very like his presence was just scary. I feel like in the other movies, Ghostface's presence was like scary, but it wasn't so like serious. Unlike this one was definitely serious, and it was actually pretty scary when Ghostface was on screen. Now that's it for my positives. Now let's go on to my mixed feelings. Now I don't have any flat out like negatives. Now, I don't have any flat out negatives, but I do have a mixed feeling, and that is the killer reveal. To be honest, I think this is one of the most shocking killer reveals out of the entire franchise. Not in the sense of who the killer ends up being, in the sense that it's just so like out of nowhere. Like, I don't know, it was just so shocking. Like, my stomach literally dropped when like the killer reveal happened. I was like, wait, what? Wait, it took me like a second to process what just happened. But yeah, it's just, I'm mixed about it because it's like, I can't really say it now because I'm in the non-spoiler section. In spoiler section, I'll clarify why I feel this way. But yeah, overall, this movie, I would have to give it a 9 out of 10. I honestly loved this movie. Like, it's literally a must watch. Like, if you love Scream, if you love slasher movies, if you love horror, literally you have to watch this movie. Like, it's so good, and I feel like a lot of people are gonna like it. I really liked it. It's definitely the most emotional in the franchise, the most brutal, and the killer reveal is like honestly the most shocking in my opinion. We are now entering spoiler territory. If you have not seen Scream 2022, go watch it, then come back to the video. In this section of the video, I'll basically be just going over all the things I just said in my non-spoiler section of the video, but more in depth, obviously, with spoilers. And towards the end of this section, I'll be telling you all my favorite scene, my least favorite scene, my favorite kill, and my least favorite kill. So again, if you have not seen Scream 2022, go watch it, then come back to the video. And if you have seen it, keep watching. Now, the opening scene. If you've seen the trailers, you pretty much know that Tara does survive the opening scene. Oh my god, this scene was so brutal. It low-key caught me off guard. Like, the whole stabbing through the hand and the breaking the limbs and just dragging her around and throwing her around and stuff. It honestly was just so... just wow. But honestly, in my final predictions video, I basically predicted how the opening scene would go, and I kind of wish they went that route. But at the same time, I feel like that really would be kind of copying the original, like literally like beat by beat. So it's like, you know what? I'm fine that they didn't do it. I feel like it would have been more effective if they did what I predicted, but it's okay. Obviously, I still love the scene, and Jenna Ortega's performance was amazing. Now, the fast pacing, honestly, I was just like, wow, this movie is just going. It's just very fast paced. Like, literally right after the opening scene, 15 to 20 minutes later, Vince dies. 15 minutes to 20 minutes later, Judy and Wes die. I'm like, oh my god, what is going on? Like, this is insane. This pacing is amazing. Like, I literally was not bored at all. Like, I loved every single second of this movie, and it literally went by so fast, and I was just like, dang, that was 2 hours, and that did not feel like 2 hours. That felt like 30 freaking minutes. I felt like an hour. I was like so invested. And then the darker tone. Okay, the darker tone, I'm mainly talking about Judy and Wes's death scene and their whole sequence and Dewey's death scene. I feel like it just felt so different and it just felt so brutal. Like you just killed Wes's mom and then you just killed him. Like I was just not expecting him to die right there. I was just like, dang, this is really messed up. But like the sequence when they were like building up all the jump scares and stuff, I was just like, oh my god, this is so annoying. But then ultimately, whenever he closed that front door and locked it, I knew he was gonna die right there because you just locked yourself in there with the killer, and it's just like, god damn, like that was so brutal and it was so sad, and it felt different than anything in the franchise. I was just like, wow, you just killed his mom, then you just killed him. I'm like, okay, damn, that is fucked up. Then Dewey's death scene, obviously that was sad. I was tearing up, and obviously whenever Gail found out that he died, I was tearing up. I was just like, wow, this is I like obviously I predicted Dewey's death, but wow, the execution was amazing. Like, oh my god, it was so sad. And just the whole hospital sequence, like the entire one, that is one of the most suspenseful scenes I have ever seen in this franchise. Like, wow, it's just like the whole thing with Tara in the hospital bed. She hears a noise and it's just like you can't just sit there, so you have to get up and like, oh my god, and her wounds were like opening and her leg was freshly broken, so it's like, god dang, like I felt so bad for her. Like it was just like, wow, this is really demented. Now with the characters, again, I liked every single character. My favorite characters would definitely have to be Mindy and Tara. And I want to say Sam too. I did like her character, but Mindy and Tara, I love their characters. Like, wow. But the characters that I was talking about that didn't get the most screen time, I'm mainly talking about Liv. I feel like her death was just so abrupt, and I just wanted to see more of her and just like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like she was like, not like a straight up throwaway character, but like, I don't know. I just really didn't like how she died and how abrupt it was. Now, the brutal kills, it was so much neck trauma. I was just like, what is going on? Like, this is so like uncomfortable to watch. It's just like, dang, it's just so slow and so painful, and it's just like, dang, like, and those stabbings, like, obviously, and those felt even more brutal too. And just like, god, like, everything about this movie was just brutal, and it was just amazing. Of course, I freaking loved it. And obviously it was revealed that Amber and Richie were Ghostface. And yeah, I feel like this is probably the one movie where it's like kind of obvious who killed who. You can tell that Amber probably was the one that had the like stabbing frenzy, like would stab them repeatedly like 7 to 10 times. I feel like that was definitely Amber. And then Richie was more like the slow, painful stab through the neck, bleeding out, like watch them crawl away type of killer, which was like also effective as well. So yeah, I liked them as Ghostface when they had the costume on, and I kind of enjoyed their motive. But yeah, this Ghostface was they were just way more hostile and just way more angry. There was like a lot of anger into like the stabs, and like, god, it was just wow. Now on to my mixed feelings portion. Now I'm going to clarify what I meant by why I'm just iffy about this killer reveal. So, I honestly liked it, but obviously this movie's trying to be different, and it's not the same as the first 4 movies because those killer reveals were definitely more tension and build-up based. But this one is not. It really came out of nowhere, and it honestly shocked me. Like whenever Amber and Liv were like arguing, she's like, "You're the killer," and Liv is like, "I'm not the killer." And she was like, "Oh, you have blood on your hands," and she's like, "I'm not the killer." And then Amber was like, "I know," and then shot her. I was just like, what? Like, I honestly, it took me a second to process what just happened. I was like, are you serious? Wait, did Liv really just die like that? Like, I honestly wish it was like a random party person, like a random person from the party, and they were like outside, like drunk, passed out. Then they woke up, saw Chad, ran inside, and then Amber just pulled out the gun and shot her. But like, dang, you really just killed Liv like that? That was just like, I don't know. I was not a huge fan of that. But I like, at the same time, I did like it though. I liked how shocking and surprising it was. Like, she just pulled out a damn gun and shot her. Like, what? And then whenever Amber was like, oh, welcome to the third act, I was like, okay, I love that. Okay, I like that. And then obviously with Richie, I feel like at that point it was process of elimination. I felt like it was Richie. Like, I don't know. I felt like it was Richie by the time, oh God, what? I'm trying to remember. Oh, whenever Sydney was going up the stairs and like found him in the closet, I was like, okay, I feel like this is set up. I feel like he wouldn't be hiding in the closet. I feel like he would have just ran out or something. So I was like, okay, he's the killer. And then whenever he steps in, I was like, damn, that was just like, wow. Like, I was like, it was still surprising even though I saw it coming. Well, I didn't see him stabbing her coming. I thought it was just gonna play out a little longer. But yeah, and also I was not a huge fan of the deaths of the killers. I feel like that was like my least favorite part. Because it was just like, again, with the other 4 movies, it's definitely, when it comes to the killers, it's always like a sabotage. Like, one killer kills the other killer. But like this one, it just felt like I liked that Sam killed Richie. That was brutal. And I loved that. But I don't know. I really did not like Amber's death. Like, obviously it's spoiled in the trailer. Like, you can clearly tell it's Amber in one of the trailers, and it's just like, damn, like, it kind of is upsetting, but it's whatever. But the main thing that I didn't like was that Sydney and Gail were teaming up on Amber as like I understand why they did that, to let Gail have her moment to shine and stuff, like in the original, whenever yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like the killer reveal and the killer's deaths were very iffy for me. Like, I didn't love them, but I didn't hate them. But my favorite scene would have to be the hospital sequence, like whenever Jenna Ortega's character, Tara, is in the wheelchair. I feel like that whole sequence, like the entire sequence, is just amazing. I loved it. My least favorite scene would have to be Amber getting lit on fire. Only because, I mean, the trailers kind of spoiled it and it kind of just ruined the surprise. And whenever, I don't know if it was Sydney or Gail, whenever they threw the alcohol on her, I was like, okay, I see where this is going. So yeah, that's probably my least favorite scene. I don't hate it, but yeah, out of the entire movie, I feel like that's my least favorite scene. My favorite kill would have to be Dewey's death. Yes, it is sad, but it is brutal as hell. Cutting him open with like 2 knives, that's crazy. But my least favorite kill would have to be Liv, because I don't know, I just wanted to see more of her character, and the way she went out was just kind of just like, damn, that's fucked up. But again, if you did enjoy this video, please consider subscribing to my channel for more videos from me, and make sure to hit that notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I post a new video. Alright, horror movie lovers, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.